Hi, I'm Zach, and this is Challenger Vedic Astrology and Tarot. Welcome to the channel. So, today we're going to be talking about the Sun transit in the sign of Virgo, and the solar eclipse that will be taking place there. So, if you like my videos, be sure to like and subscribe. It really helps out me and the channel. To be notified whenever I release a new video, be sure to hit the bell icon and select all. And if you'd like a Vedic Sidereal birth chart, a personal tarot reading, or an astrology consultation, links to those will be in the description box and the comments below. And if you'd like to donate to help support the channel, links to those will be in the description box as well. Alright, so first off, these are your Vedic Sidereal placements, not your Western Tropical. So make sure that you're using your Vedic Sidereal placements. If you don't know those placements, you can look up a Vedic Sidereal birth chart calculator online, or get a much more detailed birth chart from my website. Okay, so we read these from your Ascendant, from your Moon, and from your Sun. Reason being, Ascendant is your life path. Moon is your mind and emotions. It's how you think and feel about your reality. So that's also important to look at. And Sun is your soul. What is your soul here to experience? So that's why we look at transits from these 3 points. Now, this transit of Sun in the sign of Virgo will be taking place from September 16th to October 17th. And there will be a solar eclipse taking place in Virgo. That'll be October 2nd or the 3rd, depending on where you are in the world. Okay. So, we're going to jump into this, looking at each zodiac sign. So, let's dig right in. Alright, so, Aries, kicking us off with you, like always. So, for you, Aries, we see Virgo is your 6th house. There's the solar eclipse taking place there. Now, first off, we also see Ketu and Moon here. The solar eclipse always takes place when there is a new moon in the axis of Rahu or Ketu. But we do see there's an extra planet involved here, Mercury. Mercury is not always a part of the solar eclipse, so Mercury becomes very important here. Now, Mercury rules your 3rd and your 6th house. So, we clearly see this will be tied to effort. This will be tied to your work. Could be tied to your cousins, your maternal aunts and uncles. Third house is marketing, sales, media. 6th house is your coworkers, it's your enemies, it's your pets. So these are some of the things that Mercury's involvement here can show, being very important. And also, 6th house is health. 3rd house is your self-effort, transformation through self-effort. Because it's 8th from the 8th. So Mercury here shows there can be a transformation of your health taking place. But 6th house, it's also, your everyday work, your everyday routines. It's health issues, accidents, it's debt. Like I said, it's your pets, it's your maternal aunts and uncles. It's your coworkers. It's competition. So you can even see sports with this. It's conflict of all kinds. So these are the areas of life where you're going to be focused. Because that's what Sun is all about. It's about you focusing. But when there's a solar eclipse, there's a significant event that takes place tied to that house. So, for you, that'll be October 2nd or 3rd, depending on where you are in the world. Okay. But that's what I have for you, Aries. Moving on to Taurus. Okay, Taurus. So, the solar eclipse will be taking place in the sign of Virgo. And solar eclipse is always where Sun is transiting. So, Sun's also transiting in Virgo. Now, a solar eclipse is when the moon is with the sun. It's a new moon, but it takes place in the axis or near the axis of Rahu and Ketu. So this is always the case. But here we see your focus is going to be on the 5th house. So 5th house is romance, fun and games. It's education, it's politics. It's the sudden transformation of your work because it's 8th from the 10th house of the career. It's children, it's students, subordinates. It's speculative gains through business, stock market, gambling. So we see all of this will be a big focus for you during this time. Now, Mercury is also with this eclipse. Mercury isn't always with the eclipse. So, what we see with this, well, Mercury rules your 2nd and your 5th house. So, 2nd house is also family. It's earning, savings, your finances in general. It's also what you value. So, with this, what we see, in particular, there can be having children. You could be having children around this time, or find out you're pregnant. Family could be growing. Somebody in your family could be having a child. And you learn that right around the solar eclipse. Also, you could be earning money. Earning through those speculative gains. But these are some of the things that we can see with this. But expect a major event to take place here when that solar eclipse takes place, October 2nd or 3rd. Alright, that's what I have for you, Taurus. Moving on to Gemini. Gemini, 1 second, I need some water. Okay. So, Gemini, for you, the Sun is going to be transiting in your 4th house. And there will be a solar eclipse taking place here. In your 4th house, the sign of Virgo. Now, here we see, solar eclipse is always when Sun is with the moon. It's a new moon. But it's a new moon either in or near the axis of Rahu. Well, somebody's flying like a bat out of hell. Yeah, I'm pretty sure my mic picked up on that. I'm not going to edit it out, though, because there's something important with this. So, 4th house. 4th house is the house of cars, vehicles. That is what we call an omen. So, in your case, in particular, I definitely see there's something with a car. That could be very significant for most of you. Now, let me finish what I was saying about the solar eclipse. So, first off, solar eclipse is when there's a new moon taking place. In or near the axis of Rahu and Ketu. Now, something unusual with this eclipse is Mercury is involved with this eclipse. Mercury's not always required for an eclipse, so we see there's something significant tied to Mercury. Mercury is your Ascendant Lord and your 4th Lord. So, we see that Mercury represents you, your physical body, represents your 4th house, your car, your comfort, your happiness, your home, your mother. So in particular, those 4th house themes of home, land, real estate, mother, vehicles, comfort, and happiness. Those will be most important because this is where the eclipse is taking place. And it's where you're focused because that's where Sun's transiting. But you are going to be heavily involved in this because Mercury is involved. So there could be something going on with your mother. There could be something very significant with a car since we got that omen. But also there could be something tied to land and real estate. So some things we could see with this, maybe your mother's health, is an issue. Maybe she needs to see a doctor. Now this can also be mother figures, for those that are adopted or, have a woman who really cares for them. Now, with this though, we can also see getting a home, repairing a home, moving, buying land, either repairing a car, getting a new car, even a car accident could be possible with this, so be careful. But for the most part, 4th house transit is generally good. And an eclipse here is going to be taking place on October 2nd or 3rd, so expect a major event to take place then. Alright, that's what I have for you, Gemini. Moving on to Cancer. Cancer, 1 second, I need a drink. Okay, so Sun is transiting in your 3rd house in the sign of Virgo. And there's going to be a solar eclipse taking place here. So, a solar eclipse is when there is a new moon, either in or near the axis of Rahu and Ketu. Now, there's something unusual with this eclipse though, and that's that Mercury is becoming a part of it. So Mercury here clearly shows, that Mercury has something important going on here during this eclipse. Now Mercury is your 12th and your 3rd lord. So we'll talk about how that's going to intermingle with this. But 3rd house is your self-effort. It's transformation through self-effort. Because 3rd house is 8th from the 8th. It's a higher form of sun ups and downs and transformation. 3rd house is your skills. It's sports. It's art. It's communication of all kinds, including writing. It's travel. Like the loud ass car that just drove by. So you could be traveling while Sun is transiting here, but especially near that eclipse. But 3rd house is also media, marketing, sales, writing. So we see that you're going to be focused on these areas of life. Now, Mercury is also your 12th lord though. So, if there's travel, it would likely be to far off places, because 12th house of long distance travel, foreign travel is involved. And 3rd house is 12th from the 4th house, furthest place away from your homeland. So because Mercury is involved here, we see long distance travel could be possible. Now, 12th house is also loss. So there can be losses coming to, your younger siblings, your cousins, your neighbors, because 3rd house represents these as well. Also, 12th house is spirituality. 12th house is investing. So, younger sibling could become spiritual. You could invest in learning new skills, in communication, media. So these are things that we see with the solar eclipse taking place. But there will be a major event taking place here when the eclipse happens. That'll be October 2nd or 3rd. So, pay attention. Alright, that's what I have for you, Cancer. Moving on to Leo. Leo, for you, Sun is transiting in the 2nd house, in the sign of Virgo. Yeah. Now, there will be a solar eclipse taking place here. The solar eclipse is when there is a new moon, either in or near the axis of Rahu and Ketu. Now, there's something unusual about this solar eclipse, and that's that Mercury is getting involved. Mercury isn't always a part of an eclipse. Now, Mercury is your 2nd and 11th lord. So we'll talk about that in a second. But first off, Sun transiting in the 2nd house. We see that your focus is going to be on family, your finances, your earnings, your savings. Could even be on speech. 2nd house is also the face. So for instance, there could be teeth issues that you're dealing with during this time. Or vision issues. Needing to get glasses, that kind of thing. Now, with Mercury's involvement as the 11th lord and the 2nd lord, well, 11th house is your friends, your network circles, large organizations, large gatherings. It's your paternal aunts and uncles. It's your elder siblings. It's hopes, wishes, desires. It's financial gain. It's stock market. So here we see there can be big gains here. Because 11th lord of gains and 2nd lord of earnings and finances is involved in this eclipse. So that eclipse taking place October 2nd or 3rd, there can be significant gains. Also, elder sibling or paternal aunts and uncles could be visiting the family during this time. You could have a big get-together with friends. You could be making a speech as part of a large gathering. These are some of the things that we can see with this solar eclipse that will be taking place here. But there will be a major event on October 2nd or 3rd. So be ready for that. Alright, that's what I have for you. Moving on to Virgo. Virgo. Okay. So, Sun is transiting in Virgo, in your 1st house. And there will be a solar eclipse taking place here. Solar eclipse is when there's a new moon, either in or near the axis of Rahu and Ketu. Now, there's something unusual with this solar eclipse, and that's that Mercury is becoming a part of it. Mercury is your 1st and your 10th lord. Now, let's talk about that Sun transit in your Ascendant first. Or your Moon or your Sun, whichever the case may be. Your 1st house. So, 1st house is you. It's your physical health. It's your body. It's your overall path in life. So here we see, the focus is on you. It's time to be self-centered. Time to pay attention to your health. Now, Mercury is involved with this though. So Mercury is the 1st lord, signifying everything I've just said. But also your 10th lord. So you're focused on all those things, but Mercury is showing career, status, the workplace, your managers, your bosses, government. Your karmic actions that the world notices. These things are going to be very prevalent in this eclipse. So what could this mean? This could mean you get a promotion. This could mean there's something very significant with your career where you become the focus. This could mean getting a position in the government. This could mean you achieving some kind of status. This can show, your karmic actions are to be noticed during this time. They will be noticed. Because here the spotlight is on you. Now this solar eclipse is going to take place October 2nd or 3rd, depending on where you are in the world. So that's when you can expect this to take place. Alright, that's what I have for you though, Virgo. Moving on to Libra. Okay, Libra. So, for you, Sun is transiting in your 12th house in the sign of Virgo. Now, there's going to be a solar eclipse taking place here. Solar eclipse is when there's a new moon in or near the axis of Rahu and Ketu. Now, with this, there's something unusual happening. Mercury is involved. So Mercury is your 9th and 12th lord. Now, this shows that there will be involvement of these two houses. So it's not just the 12th house, but the 9th house becomes significant as well. So, first off, Sun is your focus. So, Sun is focused on the 12th house, meaning you're focused on the 12th house. Now, 12th house is bed pleasure, sex and sleep. It's spirituality. It's isolation. Anywhere you feel isolated. Jails, hospitals, asylums, monasteries. It's foreign travel, foreign people, foreign places. It's multinational companies. It's investing. Because in order to invest money, you have to temporarily lose money. So 12th house is losses of all kinds, including financial. Now, that's what you're focused on. But the 9th lord is also involved here. So, on that eclipse, on October 2nd or 3rd, depending on where you are in the world, we see the 9th house is being involved too. So 9th house is your father figures. It's your mentors, teachers, gurus. It's religion, philosophy, the law. It's long distance travel, pilgrimage. It's religion, or I already said that. It's higher education. 9th house is also publishing. So, we see that these 9th house themes are involved here. So definitely this can show travel. That's one thing this could show. This could show a father figure or a mentor or teacher going to a hospital. There could be some health issue that they're dealing with, or maybe they're traveling. This could also show getting higher education or going on pilgrimage when it comes to spirituality. Trying to become more spiritual. Going on a spiritual pilgrimage can be seen with this. Now, this could also show losses due to a legal matter. So this can go any number of ways. But October 2nd or 3rd is when this significant event will take place. Alright, that's what I have for you, Libra. Moving on to Scorpio. Scorpio. For you, Sun is transiting in your 11th house in Virgo. So, Sun is your focus. You're now focused on the 11th house. But there will also be a solar eclipse taking place here. Now, a solar eclipse is when there's a new moon, either in or near the axis of Rahu and Ketu. Now, with this solar eclipse, there's an unusual event taking place. And that's that another planet is involved with this. Mercury is getting involved in this eclipse. So, Mercury is your 8th and 11th lord in the 11th house. So, first off, let's talk about the 11th house. So, 11th house is what you're focused on because Sun's transiting there. 11th house is your elder siblings. It's your friends, your network circle, large organizations. It's stock market, it's gains, it's your hopes, wishes, and desires. It's also your paternal aunts and uncles. So we see these are the areas of life where you'll be focused. But Mercury is also the 8th lord. So we see these 8th house themes are becoming involved here. So 8th house is sex. It's the occult. It's research. It's psychological baggage. It's hidden things. It's joint finances and relationships and business. It's your in-laws. 8th house is death, wills, estates, legacies, inheritance. It's other people's money. It's sudden ups and downs and transformation. And it's also surgeries. So what we see with this? Well, paternal aunt and uncle, elder sibling, friends, they could require a surgery. They could be dealing with sudden ups and downs and transformation. Maybe you're getting a new network circle, making new friends quite suddenly here. You could see that taking place. You could be getting involved with an occult organization, doing research as part of a large organization. You could have sudden gains take place. These wouldn't be just a typical paycheck, that 2nd house. These would be irregular, sudden gains. Could be tied to the stock market if you're involved in that. And no, I'm not advising you to invest. I haven't seen your birth chart. I don't know if you have wealth combinations, or if you're running the time period of those wealth combinations. Transits always are the last thing you look at as a good astrologer. Okay, but that is possible for some of you. Now, when will this big event take place? October 2nd or 3rd, depending on where you are in the world. Okay, but that's what I have for you, Scorpio. Moving on to Sagittarius. Alright, Sagittarius, I need a drink. 1 second. Okay. So, for you, Sun is transiting in your 10th house in the sign of Virgo. Alright. So, 10th house. Now, Sun is your focus. So you're focused on the 10th house. But there will also be a solar eclipse taking place here. Now, a solar eclipse is when there's a new moon in the axis of Rahu or Ketu. Or near them. Near that axis. Now, there's something unusual happening with this eclipse though. Mercury is getting involved. So Mercury is your 7th and your 10th lord. So we're going to see how that plays into this. But first off, let's talk about that 10th house. So 10th house is your workplace. It's your managers, your bosses. It's your career. It's your status. 10th house is government. 10th house is national government in particular. It's also the highest house of karma. It's your karmic actions that the world notices. So even if you're retired, 10th house is important. Now, 10th house is where you're focused on because Sun is transiting here. But there will be an eclipse taking place here on October 2nd or 3rd, depending on where you are in the world. And the 7th lord, Mercury, is being involved here. So, 7th house is relationships, business partner. It's the masses, all the people you meet out in the world. So we see these areas of life are getting involved here. So, what can we see with this? Well, there's definitely something going on in your career, especially around this time. October 2nd or 3rd, there will be a big event. Could be tied to your career, could be tied to your workplace, your managers, your bosses. Maybe you're getting a new manager. Maybe your status is increasing. Maybe karma for a relationship is taking place because 7th Lord is involved. Maybe spouse is somehow getting involved in your career, helping you in your career, or hurting you. Hopefully not. Also, 10th house is 4th from the 7th house. So, there could be something going on with your mother-in-law for those that are married. Or, your partner's mother if you're not married. But we see something could be going on there as well. But for most of you, this is probably going to be career related. So expect a big event to take place here, October 2nd or 3rd. Alright, moving on to Capricorn. Okay, Capricorn. So, the solar eclipse will be taking place in Virgo, your 9th house. Solar eclipse is when sun and moon are conjunct, a new moon, either in or near the axis of Rahu and Ketu. So let's talk about sun first. Sun's transit here. Sun is your focus. So you are focused on this house. But there's something unusual happening when this eclipse takes place, and that's because Mercury is involved. Mercury's not required for a solar eclipse. So we see something's being added to this eclipse. Mercury is your 6th lord and your 9th lord. So, with this, first let's talk about your 9th house, because you're going to be focused on the 9th house no matter what. Now, 9th house is your father figures. It's your mentors, teachers, gurus. It's religion, philosophy, the law. It's long distance travel, pilgrimage. It's publishing. It's higher education. Now, we see that you're focused on these areas of life. But that solar eclipse is taking place there. And the 6th lord, Mercury, is being involved. So 6th house. 6th house is your maternal aunts and uncles. It's your coworkers. It's your enemies. It's your pets. It's your debt. It's health issues and accidents. It's your everyday work, everyday routines. It's sports, competition. It's fights. Whether legal, physical, just arguments. We see conflict. So, with the 6th lord being involved here in the 9th house. Okay, an ambulance is driving by right now. So for some of you, that's an omen. So definitely health issues could be involved here. Now, 6th house is health issues. We clearly see that in the 9th house. For some of you, this could be a father figure or a teacher, mentor, who is going to be having health issues around that solar eclipse, October 2nd or 3rd. So, fair warning with that. Make sure that they're okay. If you care. Hopefully you care. Hopefully. Now, with this, we also see that there could be a legal issue. Because 6th house of legal disputes and 9th house of the law. So there can be a legal dispute going on. We also see your maternal aunts or uncles could be traveling or getting higher education. We see that you could be competing while traveling. Competing in exams. In your education. You could be getting into conflict with teachers. Getting into conflict with people over religious or philosophical or legal matters. Also, for you, there can be health issues tied to the thigh region, because ninth house is the thigh. Okay, that's what I have for you though, Capricorn. Moving on to Aquarius. Alright, Aquarius. 1 second. I need a drink. Okay. So, Sun is transiting in Virgo, your 8th house. Now, Sun is your focus. So you're focused on the 8th house. But there will be a solar eclipse taking place here. Now, a solar eclipse is when there's a new moon, either in or near the axis of Rahu and Ketu. Now, there's something unusual happening with this eclipse, and that's that Mercury is getting involved. So Mercury is the 5th and 8th lord. So we see 5th house is being involved here. Now, let's talk about this 8th house first, because Sun shows that you're focused on this 8th house. So, 8th house. 8th house is sex. It's research. It's the occult. It's death, wills, estates, legacies. It's joint finances and relationships and business. It's other people's money. It's your in-laws. It's surgery. It's sudden ups and downs and transformation. So we see you're focused on these areas of life during this transit of the Sun. But there will also be that involvement of the 5th house. So let's talk about that. 5th house is romance, fun and games, children, students, subordinates. 5th house is education. It's speculative gains through stock market, through gambling, through business. 5th house is also politics. It's also 8th from the 10th house. It's the sun ups and downs and transformation of your career. So this could be change of job as well. But now this 5th lord's being involved with the 8th house. So here we see you could be suddenly having a kid. You could be having sudden speculative gains. Now, on a negative side, possibly, I'm sure some of you might consider this negative, but if it helps, then, it's not that negative. A child could need a surgery. Now, this could be something, that's not too bad, like, having teeth work done or something. Having tonsils removed, that's still a surgery. But we see that could be a possibility. Also, you could be getting education in occult subjects, doing research for the sake of your education. A sudden romance could begin. You could transform your education during this time. Maybe you were going for one major and you want to go for a different one. Completely change your course of learning. Now, we also see that there could be, something tied to psychology here. Why? 5th house is also counseling. 8th house is psychological baggage. This could show deciding to go see a therapist. That is something that can be seen with this. But what we do see, for sure, there will be sudden changes and transformation that takes place during this time. And that will take place October 2nd or 3rd, depending on where you are in the world. Alright, that's what I have for you though, Aquarius. Moving on to Pisces. Alright, Pisces. So, Sun is transiting in your 7th house, in the sign of Virgo. Alright. Now, Sun is your focus, so you are focused on the 7th house. But there's a solar eclipse taking place here. Now, solar eclipse is when there's a new moon, either in or near the axis of Rahu and Ketu. But there's something unusual happening with this eclipse, and that's that Mercury is getting involved. Mercury's the 4th and the 7th lord. So 4th house is being involved in the 7th house now. So, let's talk about this. First, let's talk about that 7th house, because you're going to be focused on that. Now, 7th house is relationships, business partner. It's the masses, all the people you deal with out in the world. So we see that there will be a big focus on these areas of life. Big focus on relationships and business. Possibly large gatherings. Lots of people. Now, the 4th lord, Mercury, is getting involved here. So we see 4th house involvement. Now, 4th house is your mother figures. It's home, land, real estate. It's vehicles. It's your comfort and your happiness. So, what can we see with this during that eclipse? Well, mother could get involved in your relationship. So there could be conflict there. Safe to say, most people would not consider that a good thing. But also, 7th house is 4th from the 4th. 4 places away from the 4th house. So, what we see with this is home away from home. So, this could show getting a new home. This could show moving. This could show moving in with your partner. This could show comfort and happiness coming through a relationship during this time. This could show, like I said, living together. Now, when it comes to business, this could show real estate business becoming very significant. This could show business tied to cars, becoming a mechanic, owning a car dealership, starting a delivery company even. These are things that we can see taking place on that day of the eclipse, October 2nd or 3rd, depending on where you are in the world. Okay. But yeah, that's what I have for all of you. Hopefully this eclipse goes good for all of you. I know there are, some placements that are going to be more challenging, but that's always the case. That's life. But yeah, hopefully you all have liked this video. If you did, be sure to like and subscribe. Really helps out me in the channel. And to be notified whenever I release a new video, be sure to hit the bell icon and select all. If you'd like a Vedic Sidereal birth chart, a personal tarot reading, or an astrology consultation, links to those will be in the description box and the comments below. And if you'd like to donate to help support the channel, links to those will be in the description box as well. Alright, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one.